All right, I'm gonna watch, but I know we're 11 minutes in, and I don't want to waste any more time. But the reason we're here because very formal conversation. I know you see it. Formal. So beats, books, and belonging. My family, I think those things are extremely connected. Music, arts, literacy, and then you go on anywhere you go. That's all we're talking about. Group. I'll be in the back. Turn it over to Lily, and she'll introduce her this way. We missing two people. Councilman Word is Dr.
How you doing? Right.
So look, when you walk in, you ask.
I got my what?
You gotta hold the mic, though, 'cause we can't hear you. That's fine.
The other side? It's fine. You can make.
Here we go.
Yeah. They all work.
Thank you.
Okay.
And your mic.
Check, 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 check. Check. Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm DJ Lily Jade, and I am really excited to be moderating today's conversation about beats, books, and belongings, and how creativity helps build stronger communities. And I have some amazing people up here today that are going to be showing me how they've been impacting their community with creativity. But I just finished a speaking and DJ tour that showed me how creativity connects people everywhere. One highlight was DJing at the New York Stock Exchange when Jennifer Gardner's company, Once Upon a Farm, went public. That experience showed me creativity belongs in every space, even business. I also traveled to Belize to learn about how youth entrepreneurship. Where you been at? Where you been at? How youth entrepreneurship through agriculture. And I saw how young people are using creativity to support their community in real powerful ways. And in Columbus, I also showed how DJing helped my literacy, confidence, critical thinking, and STEM skills. Because DJing isn't just music and problem solving. Most importantly, that's what today is really all about. How creativity helps people connect, grow, and build stronger communities together. If y'all don't know who this is, we have Judge Cleela Lawson, Councilperson Michael Hauser, teacher and coach and author, Mr. Brian Bruce. And then on the end, we have Professor Adam Briggs. So how are we all feeling this morning?
Great.
Excellent.
Okay. So let's talk about how creativity is a pathway to belonging. I know music and books help me find my place. Where have you seen creativity help people feel like they belong? This is for anybody. So who's gonna start us off? Who's gonna take the risk? Who's gonna go first? I don't want to have to pick.
Go ahead, ladies.
Thank you. I'll start off. I think creativity is so important, especially in the spaces that we live in, because a lot of things are non-traditional, and especially youth need an opportunity to be creative, to not have their voice shut out or be told, we can't do it this way. A lot of times it's like, we've always done it this way. With this next generation, it's like, well, why can't we do it this way, express ourselves, and give our young people an outlet to be able to express themselves. So I think it's definitely important that we embrace creativity. That's great.
I think that we have a lot of different opportunities. As soon as you asked that question, I thought about the arts. I think Cleveland is doing a great job of highlighting different artists. We have national artists, we have local artists, and so I think the arts is a space where, as a city as a whole, we can be creative.
I feel that creativity is the blueprint to everything. We wouldn't have any of the inventions or anything that we have in today with the technology and just everything. It came from a creative space. So when anyone is inventing something or coming up with new ideas, that's the blueprint to success, and it's the blueprint to evolution.
Well, one reason to focus on creativity is so important is that a lot of times when we gather in community spaces, we tend to lead with where the problems or the challenges are. And what creativity as a frame does is let us focus on what's worth celebrating as we create those opportunities for belonging.
And how have you seen creativity help bridge gaps whenever generational, cultural, education, or civic?
Well, I hate to be cliche-ish, but bridging the gap. I mean, you are an epitome of it. You literally, you are doing something that hasn't been seen before. So you're bridging the gap for all of the generations. I mean, you have younger generations looking up to you as well as adults, because you're creative and you're stepping outside of the box of anything that anyone we've seen do.
I'll follow up and answer that question as well. So, in the legal profession, as a judge, a lot of times I'm asked to do career days at schools and go and speak to students about what my job is and what I do. But instead of just going and speaking about what I do, I decided to engage and say, well, you know what, I'm going to give you a real courtroom experience because, of course, as we all know, the criminal justice system is a scary place. It's not a friendly place. And when people hear it, it's like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be involved with that. But what I do a lot of times when I have these mock trials is, or excuse me, I have career days. I create a mock trial in real live time. I give students a scenario. I let them up with it off the top of their head. I say, you're the prosecutor. You're the defense attorney. We take 5 minutes in the corner, come up with opening statements, and just give facts and let them argue it and say, hey, you know what? You're great at that. You're amazing at that, and let them see it in real time. And we create this space where now we have their creativity, and they're no longer afraid of a system that may have been looked at as oppressive, and see me and say, okay, we're connecting all generations together and saying, I want to embrace you. I want to mentor you.
From a political perspective, I think it's important that we have young people involved in our political process. And so, to the judge's point, being an example for young people, I'm the youngest person on county council, but I think that creativity, that different perspective is needed, where a young person might relate to me more than a 70-year-old politician. So I think having young people and being creative goes hand in hand.
So when we talk about using creativity to bridge gaps, the key here is that we invite folks to create rather than just talking at or talking to. We invite them to be able to navigate and interpret the world on their own terms, right? There are all kinds of events where got somebody, they're going to come give the lecture. They're going to, but the problem is what we need to do is, but when you put tools in people's hands so that they can really connect, since the question is about bridge building.
Now, I have some questions for each one of y'all that are specific to you. So, Judge Lawson, besides your mock trials, how do creative engagement opportunities help youth remain positively connected to community systems?
And so, to go back to the mock trials, I think what's important is being in classroom and being present, showing our young people that they counsel. We are not
Mr. Bruce.
way of that, I think of how to think outside of the box. How first it starts at home. If I'm doing, however, that's not always the greatest thing to show. I use things like I use music a lot in my classroom. So when I come in beginning of the year, I'm asking them, well, what type of music do you like? That's one of their first assignments is to give me different artists and songs that they like. So first off, I can stay hip to what's going on with the younger, and then it bridges the gap and kind of like helps us type of create a bond and through music. And I show them some of the music that I listen to, and I put together a playlist for my like focus class for every year, a clean version. I put together the clean version, and so when they come in, they have music. Oh shoot, you playing something that I really like. Oh well, what is that, Mr. Bruce? What are you playing? And then they're starting to open up to different music and different things that is culturally for them and that I experience and I like, and I'm in turn doing the same thing with them.
Yeah, we're doing the PBIS incentives at our school too. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Does that help you? Does that make you want to engage more?
Yeah, it does.
different
Because at that point, yeah, it's showing you that you should really be focusing more, and so that way you can.
Okay. So you can have fun. So you can play a staff or student basketball game.
Those are
Something
fun. Those are really fun.
Gotcha.
Dr. Banks,
Yes,
how does storytelling, literacy, and cultural expression shape identity and belonging?
So let me give a couple of examples. Since you talked about music, I'll segue off of what you just shared. The power of hip hop that's made it such a worldwide phenomenon over the last 50 years is not in the huge artists that go platinum. The power of hip hop and what's made it endure is that everybody in their own neighborhoods, at their own lunch tables, on the block, participate in their own way. The power of hip hop is in the cipher, right? It's the fact that it's a communal activity. And so, now to take that and to go in a different direction, since you're talking about storytelling, I'm teaching a class this quarter called Anansi and the Machine, Black Oral Traditions and Digital Cultures. And so we started with folk tales. And one of the things that I did was do a kind of folktale karaoke where I had the students do their own interpretations of a classic tale. So there's the story, The Frog Who Wanted to Sing. There's another folktale about this kind of this older eagle who teaches a young chicken how to really embrace all of their heritage and all of who they are. Now these tales might be 100 years old. Some of you know Shine in the Titanic, Signifying Monkey, some of those tales, Brer Rabbit, encouraging them to bring, that encourages a different.
And last but not least, County Councilman Hauser. How can local government intentionally support creative engagement as community infrastructure?
Important. I think that's why African American males want